Oh, hi there. Dan Amrick here, the community manager for Activision, back for another episode of One of Swords TV, where I try to answer the questions that you send me at youtube@oneofswords.com. If you have a question about Activision or about gaming in general, or something you've always wondered, maybe I know the answer to it. If I do, I'll certainly give it to you. Just send it to youtube@oneofswords.com, and I'll take them more or less in order as I get them. This week is a good question that affects every gamer, whether you realize it or not. It's about button mapping, and it comes from Lido. He says, "Hi there, Dan. I've always wondered why some games allow for complete button remapping, while others just give you a set number of preset configurations to choose from. Is the limitation technical, like is it very difficult to program, or would it take too much of a console's resources, such as RAM or whatever? Or is it because they just don't think it's something that players want? I personally always appreciate having that option in the game, even though I don't always use it." You are absolutely not alone, Lido. It just so happens that a friend of mine, Paul, who I used to work with in an official Xbox magazine, if anybody remembers Paul, this was his goal, man. Like, this was his crusade. He believed in customizable controls for every single game. And so as a result, he wound up started asking the developers, whenever we had the chance to talk to a game developer, he would ask, do you have customizable controls? If not, is there some reason? And we heard everything. The most compelling thing that we heard was really the answer we wanted to hear, which was there's no technical reason why it can't be done. It's not like it takes up a lot of resources in RAM. It's really it's nothing even processor intensive that I'm aware of. However, I do believe that some developers only give you a handful of things because of a creative decision. They want you to use a certain configuration because that's what they've built the game to do. I think about driving a car sometimes. Driving a car, you do not have the opportunity to change where the steering wheel goes, but you might see that creatively or ergonomically, those car designers have decided to put the buttons for the radio and the lights and the windshield wipers. Those might be in all different places. You can't remove them. You can't swap them around. It was somebody's judgment call in terms of design to say, I think this is going to work best, this is the most efficient, or this is optimal, or this is comfortable. I really believe that game designers do the same thing. When they're building an experience, they go, this is the most important part of the experience, right? This is the only part you touch, is your controller. So, how do we make that as efficient and invisible as humanly possible? It depends very much on the game. I see a lot of fighting games where I'm allowed to reconfigure the buttons to anything that I want whatsoever. And that's because that's a culture and a community that really supports customized controllers. Some people prefer to use an arcade stick. Some people prefer to use a wireless controller or a wired controller. That's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes developers will come up with, well, we can see where there's like 3 or 4 different preferences, so let's go ahead and do it. I think a lot of it is also resources. Even if you have the flexibility to offer people multiple configurations for your game, how much time do you want to spend putting all that stuff in there? Is there something else in the game? Do you have to be spending more time on? Does it need more polish? Does it become a luxury at that point to offer people more of a control over their control? Or is it just one of those things where, like, we recommend you do this? I also, like you, I like having options, but I tend to want to play with the default options whenever I possibly can, because I want to be able to pick up any controller anywhere and say, yeah, I know how to play this game, and just jump right into it. I never want to have the excuse of, oh, this isn't my config, or, oh, I left my arcade stick at home, I can't kick your ass today, something like that. That said, I'm one of those people, we could get into an entire different video just about whether you invert or whether you do normal when you look up and down in a first-person shooter game. I will say this, though, that Microsoft, deep buried within the options of your Xbox 360, which you see behind me here, you probably can't see the screen because of the way the camera works, but I went and looked, and there's, under my profile, under my gamer profile, there is an option called Game Defaults. Check that out. You might be surprised at what you see, and you have my word that it's been there since 2005. You can actually set up a default controller scheme so that, like, in a racing game or in a shooting game, what the basic controls will always do no matter what. I believe that this is something that game companies didn't really embrace, but they wanted it to be that whatever controls feel good to you, you can have pre-assigned, and games would just say, look at the local preference file, use that. So it's absolutely not a technical thing that can't be done. It's purely a matter of setting up that mapping and whether or not the developers want to give you that much freedom. They may have creative reasons why they don't, But Microsoft has shown that, from a macro level, from above, they were like, let's give the gamers the power to do whatever they want. And yet I don't know anybody that uses that menu, myself included. I don't know whether games even support it. This is just one of those things that happened that never got really used or never gets talked about. So if you have a 360, go check it out. It's under your profile. Look for game defaults and wonder whatever happened to it. If you have a question about video games or Activision games specifically, feel free to send them to youtube@oneofswords.com. I will answer them every week. I'll try to pick a different letter out of the mailbag and see how it goes. In the meantime, all of my information is over at oneofswords.com. You'll find podcasts and giveaways and previews and videos and all kinds of stuff. And that's where I'll be. So if you're looking for me, find me there, and thanks for watching.